Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the WhatCulture Wrestling News, or your hashtag Good Afternoons, as we like to call it in these parts of the world. My name is Adam Clery, joined as ever by handsome, dashing Adam Nicholas, and we are here today to fill you in. Yes, you, here today to fill you in with the afternoon news as the week grinds slowly to a halt, and we think about all the delicious pints in the cloudy, not sun we're going to be having a little bit later on. So coming up for you today, we have...
I'm still hanging on your pirate impression at the start there. It was quite good. Whatever that. Anyway, WWE have cancelled a live show at the weekend due to severe weather warnings.
A big name may be done for good if this little clue is anything to go by.
The real reason we're going to be getting a triple threat in the King of the Ring tournament.
But first, we have some great news. Probably the best news I could have reported in a long, long time when it comes to WWE. On today's Wrestling Observer newsletter, which has come out really late for Dave. He did say he was doing a lot more research. Wasn't even arguing with children on the internet for a change.
That's normally what he does.
Usually why he postpones it. One of the major takeaways from it is that Bayley and Sasha in particular have not been getting scripted on Raw and SmackDown, which, you know, might not sound like a big deal on the face of it, but this is apparently, in his words, a step towards doing that a lot less, going back to the days of simply giving the performers little bullet points here and there and then telling them to come up with their own scripts. Now, I will read precisely what he said. Bayley, Banks and Mysterio's promos on Raw were all done without being scripted word for word, basically the old bullet point style, and going for that. There is a movement to try and do more of that going forward, similar to the leeway that Owens, and I believe Bryan, but I haven't been told that directly, get on SmackDown, and why their promos, why Owens' promos, if not both of their promos, come off better than almost anybody else. Now, I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is the best thing they could have possibly done, because the reason Owens and Bryan's promos stand out as so good in that mire of crap that is WWE in-ring segment is because they're saying what they actually want to say. They understand their characters better than a load of soap opera writers do, and thus they can write better stuff for them. This is great news.
And they can say things how their characters would say things, which is half the problem with all of these. It's hard enough doing bloody scripts in the studio for us. Imagine doing it in front of a live audience. That's quite difficult to do. I tell you what, the one big advertisement for this is, the biggest thing this whole week, what's it been? Chris Jericho. A little bit of the bubbly. I'm not going to do it because we've done it to death this hour. We've literally done it to death. But that whole thing came from a non-scripted promo post-match of Jericho walking backstage. And if that isn't a walking advertisement, a literal walking advertisement for that, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, like we've said so many times that the scripted promos are killing WWE's in-ring segments. They want these overly long, really boring, just sort of like in-ring segments at the start of shows, which influence the entire rest of the thing. They're dorky, they're lame. Seth Rollins has been the best example because he is quite an eloquent guy. He's got quite a good character, but some of the stuff they get him to come out with has been absolutely dreadful. And if, you know, the Bayley and Sasha stuff's been excellent this week, as we know the Owens and Bryan stuff's been absolutely fantastic. You can tell every time someone's taken off the leash. Yeah. It's been brilliant. Like, the thing that was doing the rounds of Corbin, just joining in the chant about him. Do you think that wasn't scripted? Because you can't script that, because you don't know the chant's going to be there. That was one of the best things they've done in a long while. So this is such positive news. I really hope they stick with this going forward, because I can understand, you know, when you've got a cohesive story, when you've got these shows that you need to have all go certain ways, all it takes is one performer to do it really badly and go off the rails or say something they shouldn't, then all of a sudden you bring everybody back in and you stop doing it. So I hope that none of the wrestlers let them down in this regard if they're given this freedom.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed.
Couldn't agree more.
Fingers crossed.
Well, somebody else who hasn't been reading the script is the weather in Halifax, Nova Scotia, because apparently this weekend's show that's happening on Saturday, so tomorrow, has been cancelled. A WWE live event has been cancelled at the Halifax Forum, so if it's just news to you and you're going there, then guess what?
Don't.
Severe weather has cancelled
the
show, as per, I believe it was a weather website. Website.
We troll everywhere to get
Yes, we do. We pull them all from everywhere. It was on Reddit. It was posted via, I think I'm assuming, Halifax's weather.
So this is because of the big hurricane in America, is it?
Well, the distances are something that perhaps are...
No? Where is Halifax?
A bit of an issue. Not Florida.
No. Near Florida?
Yeah, depends.
Upstate?
If we're pretending that this isn't to scale, and imagine you're looking at it on a map.
Yep.
They're really still far apart from each other.
So it's nothing to do with that?
Apparently not.
However, you could conceivably just draw a big bubble around the area and just say that.
Well, who would do that though?
I don't know.
You couldn't possibly do that.
I couldn't possibly say.
The force of a magical something to move the weather. Is that what you're saying, perhaps?
Or maybe just trying to make yourself not look like an
Make
idiot
a
in press
point.
conferences. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I can't think of anybody who would do that. But the one thing we do know is that show is not on.
Yes.
Just simply. So if you do have tickets for that show and you are
Don't go.
watching from Halifax, don't go.
I should say though, we had a quick look at this. It is a Category 10 weather warning.
It basically
and they
said
go up to Category 10.
Yes.
So I think you probably know that you're not going out tonight if
the
you're living in
whole
Halifax.
the whole area on the map was red. And that is like, I don't know how, but it was this whole section that was like a tiny corner of orange, which means like, but red means be warned, bad things are coming your way. A wind risk, we're told. So obviously,
Speaking
a
of
lot of sprouts eaters over in Halifax, eh?
Speaking of bad things
Goodness
coming
me.
your way, a bad thing that might not be coming your way anymore is Ronda Rousey. Yeah, WWE have taken the unorthodox
Has the weather gone
step.
here as well, have they?
Well, apparently, by the looks of it. WWE have taken the unorthodox step of moving her to the alumni section of the website. Now, that's not, you shouldn't probably read too much into that, although obviously we're going to for the sake of the news, but like Kane is not in the alumni section. The Big Show is not in the alumni section. A lot of people who you assume may just pop up every now and then without it being a big deal, who don't have to do an official return, are not in the alumni section. The only people in there are people who are either retired or you would never genuinely expect to see
come back.
Edge is in there, for example. Even though he's done a thing in the ring.
Yep.
CM Punk is in there, for example, even though we all know everything's not coming back. But Ronda Rousey is now in there as well, which there's been a lot of talk about how they might use her in the future. The fact that her contract, she is still under in-ring contract for WWE. They can effectively call upon it, although obviously there is this agreement that she wants time off, she wants to go have a baby. But so far there's been nothing on that. She's been trying to get pregnant since WrestleMania.
What's she been on?
She's been on a impregnation vacation.
There it is. Which is a totally normal way of saying that, of course, which is absolutely fine. I've got no issues with it, personally. But
Everyone has sex on holiday, Ronda. You're not special. But this does lead to speculation that, we sort of thought there might be a natural angle for them to do with Survivor Series. All four of the four horsewomen are now sort of involved in a similar storyline.
And all active as well, technically.
Sasha and Bailey are sort of, they've got their thing together, which kind of overlaps with Becky, because Sasha's having a match there and Bailey's having a match with Charlotte. So they are all coalescing and coming together in time for Survivor Series, which led to a lot of speculation that they might use the four horsewomen of MMA, given that they're all sort of now under contract to do that, or she might be back for the Rumble, she might be back for WrestleMania, but if she's in the alumni section, either they are not going to use her anymore, or they just don't want us to think they're going to use her anymore.
Or, third potential reason why they've done this, because they really like us so much. They just wanted to give us 2 news pieces so we can tell you when she's gone back out of the alumni page into the active wrestlers
You
page.
joke, but WWE, as like any company does, lives or dies by the media coverage they get. And moving Ronda Rousey to that is a news story, and thus when she comes back, it's a
Ronda
bigger
Rousey's
news
still relevant, and she's going to be, it's almost like she's going to be starring in the latest series of Total Divas or something.
Oh yeah, but when did they film that? Wait,
It's already been filmed, man.
Is it just going to be loads of bits of her being like, yeah, it's sex, yeah,
Like,
got it right up me.
in advance.
Got all that sperm all the way up me. But I think maybe I'm just too,
Where have you
I'm
taken
too
this?
deadly. I'm too deadly for sperm. Just because that's a part, isn't
Ronda
it?
Rousey. Hey?
What's yours?
Hey?
Your last one.
I don't know, but the real reason for the real reason for Ronda Rousey's impregnation vacation is up to him. But the real reason that the triple threat match has been happening, or will be happening, in the King of the Ring tournament on Monday Night Raw, well, it's believed that our boys and girls in the back are very high on one Mr. Trevor Ricochet, man, who has taken quite a good start on the main roster, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, he's actually been used quite well.
Apparently, the whole thing has been tailored to get him over more, because that's what he needs. Not that he's already over with all of us. Although he set himself back a little bit by covering up the merchandise with that Robin outfit, but never mind. Dave Meltzer's reporting this, and this is what he has to say on the matter. He said they're doing a 3-way, which actually makes no sense, but the idea there is to actually showcase Ricochet, which is not saying that he's necessarily winning. He might be, but the idea is that in the match at the Garden, in that match at the Garden, in the match in the Garden, apparently, according to Dave, literally unchanged quote this from Dave, going to be, Ricochet is going to be there as a babyface against 2 heels and 2 big heels, and he's not a big guy, so they're dynamic. That's unchanged.
Well done,
this,
Dave.
thanks, Dave. It's almost never mind. Their dynamic is
When you
supposed to
were reading
work.
this out, I was like,
He's
God,
having a nightmare here.
You need the weekend.
Nobody,
No,
nope.
Dave needs the
Sadly,
weekend.
Dave, he's been typing to too many people. Their dynamic is supposed to work for him. I mean, the match is for him. Well, obviously, we all know Baron Corbin is going to win that match.
Yeah.
So, as long as Ricochet has a good showing, then I guess that'll work. But this is interesting that they see him as a hot commodity and want him to come out, along with many others in this tournament, as someone who's benefited from it.
I'm sorry, I need to go back to this. You called him Trevor Ricochet Man.
Yes.
Is his surname actually Man? Or
His
saying like
actual surname is Man.
Oh, I didn't know whether you were being like, you panicked there for a surname. Trevor Ricochet Man.
So, when he was in the crowd at NXT, the bizarrely decided, you'll remember this once I say it, he was there and they showed him in the crowd when he just signed, and instead of just having Ricochet, they had Trevor Ricochet Man right in the bottom thing. It was like the worst superhero ever, apparently. There you go.
They should have just had his Irish pseudonym.
Go on then.
Rick O'Shea.
There he is.
Best Irish wrestler in the world, Rick O'Shea. I've done that joke to death.
Too many times, not as much as the bubbly.
I will categorically say that you can definitely, don't get me wrong, he's right, the triple threat thing in the semi-final makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever, but you can use that to get him over, they're all right. You can't have someone else win and then Ricochet look like an absolute hero.
Well, he could be, we've already kind of booked it the way it's going to go. He could get the best of the two. Well, he could get the best of the two in this match, and then as he goes to do the finish, Corbin sneaks in, hits him in days, and that's it, job done. Last minute, steals the win. I
just love WWE. They get to sit down and do a tournament, which is like, no, it's difficult to book logistically because things have got to all fall into place, but it's easy to book because you just know exactly who wins each match.
And instead of doing that,
and they've somehow gone, oh, hang on, wait, no. So we've got Ricochet and Corbin in the final, but we want Ricochet to look really strong. We want Corbin to win. So it's just triple threat. We'll just have the quarterfinal match.
Hey, we don't give a monkeys about Joe. Let's put him in there.
How many Joe's getting? Joe's getting beat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Joe's going to take Ricochet's spinny flippy doodah. He's going to land, and as he pops up out, Corbin's going to slide in. No, Corbin's going to slide in. And then the days and then chuck one of them away and pin.
I think it might literally be even sneaking that. I think you might
throw
Ricochet out the ring and pin him. Should we do the Twitter questions?
Oh,
one last Twitter questions for the week.
He's all prepared, look at
this. This is from Goobs.
Goobs.
To Mr. and Mrs.
Pretty
Oobs.
following tubes.
Mr. and Mrs. Oobs the son. Gah. Should WWE parody the AEW title belt situation by having R-Truth lose the 24/7 belt and having Nicholas find it?
Good. Well, assuming Nicholas is me, I was going to say, then definitely I'm up for that. Give me a call, Vince. I know you've got me on speed dial. Interestingly, do we include the part where they get the belt back?
Well, you've got to get it back eventually, haven't you?
I guess so.
Can't put the belt in the
Listen, they already started making reference to it. Corey Graves suggesting that Drake Maverick was going to run off to a chain restaurant with the 24/7 championship when he won it on Monday Night Raw. So it wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility. And I, for one, would welcome it because it would show you how much WWE have been gotten to by their guys.
I think the 24/7 title, more than anything in WWE, is a bit of creative freedom for the guys involved. Because it's not people they care about. No. They clearly do not care what these people are doing on the actual show.
But as you say, a chance for them to, if it's unscripted, it's a bit wild, they're not really that bothered if they make mistakes, so they can just set them out there, and anybody who comes out not looking like a piece of poop is going to be flying. At
the end of the day, like, it's the biggest story in wrestling all week. They'd be absolutely mad not to have a bit of a laugh at its expense. On Monday, question from Shu Dynasty.
Shu Dynasty.
To Mr. and Mrs. Dynasty, son. Does The Fiend win at Hell in a Cell? And if so, does he hold the belt for WrestleMania and face the Demon Finn Balor? Now, I will say they've only added Wilborn in this and not us, but it's a weekend, innit?
Moving on. This question really terrifies me because I asked one of the Dudley boys this very question, and I don't know, and I'm worried about that. I feel like putting him in that match is too early because unless he's going to win it, then that is suicide. So I'm not sure.
I've done 4 or 5 news videos now where I've said, I don't know why they're putting him in the title picture. Surely you wait and you wait and you wait. The guy doesn't need a belt. He doesn't need a prop to get over.
Well, the problem is, though, if he does win, then that's... And I wouldn't be against that. I'd wholeheartedly like him to. I'd like them to commit to him. Then Seth Rollins is just thrown in the bin, who they've spent ages on. And I know it's not like that. Wrestling doesn't work exactly like that. It's one match and done. But it seems a bit daft, a bit counterproductive.
What I will say
is, you keep them separate and build them continually.
Trying to be positive about this, right? I think you can't have Seth lose this soon after beating Brock.
Yeah.
And you can't have the Fiend...
Because then what? Because the Fiend beat Brock?
Yeah. You can't have the Fiend lose this soon after like re-emerging as this massive, terrifying force. So all I will say is, this is the one pay-per-view main event where they can get away with doing a major shenanigan and it'll be the right decision. Somehow Seth needs to come out of that with the belt and looking strong, and the Fiend needs to come out of that also looking strong, but without the belt. So
just don't put them together.
Exactly.
Just don't put them together.
All I'll say, if they've got some genius idea that I can't think of, then fair enough, brilliant, I can't wait to see it. But if one of those two has to lose, you've knocked yourself.
What I will say is, and credit where it's due, we talk negatively when things are negative. Things have been a lot better recently.
Great the last
a lot
couple of
better.
weeks.
So I'm feeling quietly confident.
Speaking of which, from a question here from Brodio.
So how I get my confidence during the day is... Oh, that wasn't the question.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was WWE doesn't like tournaments because they can't 50-50 book with them. But what do you think they will do with the winner of King of the Ring? Some kind of title shot, or will they just drop down the card?
Well, it's going to be Baron Corbin, and he's not dropping down the card. He's the best thing on it. So, and he's also going to win it by being the best wrestler, as he has proven in his last 2 matches. I don't think he needs the title, as per, like, I'm obviously going to operate on the fact that he's winning it. I don't think he needs the belt. I think being the king enough is going to be enough for him over the course of the next however many months to brag and brag and brag and annoy everybody to the point of literal tears, I hope. But lots of people have said that we're going to get the promo from somebody. I think Sidgwick was the one who most notably said it, where it's going to be like, well, you may be the king, but you know, I'm still the real uncrowned king here, and I'll challenge you to a match at day by day by day. And I think that's gonna be fun, I guess.
The confidence in your voice there.
But no, either way, Baron Corbin as the king is enough for me. He'll be class, and I hope everyone hates it because that's exactly what he's all about. Yeah. What about you?
I think, and I've always thought this, the King of the Ring should get a title shot at next year's King of the Ring every year. And it's up to WWE to book them strongly in a logical way for 12 months, so that's a match everybody looks forward to.
You're going to say. And it's up to WWE to remember who was King of the Ring the year before.
But you think about it, like on the same night, you crown the new King of the Ring while the last one finally gets...
When that came into motion eventually at that next one.
The whole idea being, if you think about it from like a sports point of view, as if it's a real thing, once you crown King of the Ring, it forces the company to take you seriously and put you in to give you better opportunities, give you better matches, leading to you finally getting it. So you should be like mid-card.
Adds your prestige, doesn't it?
You shouldn't be anywhere near the title picture, and you get these opportunities across the year to improve yourself, to do this, to prove that you are the King of the Ring.
Kinda like
and then at next year's tournament, you get your title shot then, right after they crown a new King of the Ring.
A year's a long time to wait, though. It's a long time.
All I'll say is New Japan could do that.
They could. That's the difference. New Japan 100% could do. We could do that. I'd say a halfway house might be they get a shot at X pay-per-view. They get but
I like that, but it's very similar to the Royal Rumble.
But that's the thing. But I wonder if it's better. They've now got Money in the Bank. They've got Royal Rumble. Maybe having big 4 ways to get into the big 4 pay-per-views would be worthwhile.
I also, part of the reason I want to do this is because I've got this fantasy booking idea where it always goes to a heel and they always mess it up, but finally you get a babyface hero, gets it, and they battle and battle and battle. They're a really unlikely King of the Ring winner. They battle and battle and battle all year to get that title shot. They get it, they win, and they get cashed in on by the Money in the Bank.
Yes, I'm very big fan of that.
That is just
right back to
so easy
he's had his moment, and then they're all down. I like that.
So easy to write it, and then you build that person who stole it from him into the WrestleMania feud for going into. See, it's just so easy to write WWE.
So
anyway,
easy.
Almost like we should bring back how WWE should book.
I knew you were going to. I was waiting for you to drop that in.
Anyway, that's a story for another time. Let us know what you made of all these news stories in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We do normally do an And Finally, but our And Finally, because it's Friday, is just going to the pub. And we encourage you to do exactly the same thing. Where can they get you on Twitter if they want to do such a thing?
At the pub. At It's Adam Nicholas that can get me. And if you want him on Twitter, you can find him at
Adam Clery, Clery. The entire WhatCulture wrestling family at your disposal at WhatCulture WWE. If you'd like either of us to answer your questions on the Good Afternoon show, then hashtag it Good Afternoons, and we will see you on Monday. Oh, actually, no, not on Monday. I'm recuperating. We'll see you Tuesday.
Of course.
Yeah.
Quick plug for that. Go on, plug yourself.
Go on. I'm doing the Great North Run on Sunday. No charity thing, but if you want to send me a good luck message, that'd go a long way to.
At Adam Cleary. Make his day. Go on. Clery.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.